Have you ever held something so small in your hand, yet so powerful it could change your life forever? Something that sits quietly in your pocket, collecting dust, while its true value quietly skyrockets, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating secrets hidden in plain sight. The 1962 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent. And trust me, what you're about to learn could be worth almost $1 million. It starts with a penny. Not just any penny, but a coin minted in 1962 at the Denver Mint. On the surface, it looks ordinary. Shiny copper, Abraham Lincoln's profile, staring back at you with that familiar, calm confidence. But there's a catch. Only a small fraction of these coins exist in perfect, untouched condition, and collectors around the world are paying jaw-dropping sums to own them. How much, you ask? Some have sold for as much as $900,000. Yes, $900,000 for something most of us would toss into a jar labeled spare change. You might be sitting there, thinking, sure, but that's one coin. How could this apply to me? That's exactly what most people say, till they realize they've had a fortune hiding in a drawer for decades. Imagine finding a coin like this tucked in a family album, a forgotten box, or even at the bottom of your junk drawer. Suddenly, your weekend plans change. Suddenly, your dreams of financial freedom feel much closer. Suddenly, that ordinary penny transforms into a life-altering asset. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to look at what makes a coin rare. Every year, the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies. Most are ordinary, circulated, and worth exactly 1 cent. But the 1962 D Lincoln cent has a unique story. Its D mark shows it came from the Denver Mint, and only a select few were struck in flawless condition that survived the wear of time. Collectors call this gem mint condition coins with no scratches, no discoloration, no imperfections. And that distinction, that's what can send a coin's value soaring into the 6 or 7 figures. Here's a quick reality check. The odds are stacked against finding one of these coins in perfect condition. But fear not, every year, these coins surface, often when least expected. A retiree cleaning out their attic. A grandchild going through a grandparent's collection. A curious penny jar that hasn't been opened in 30 years. When they do, the results are staggering. Some sellers have walked away with nearly $1 million in cash. That's not just money, it's life-changing freedom. Now, before you start rummaging frantically through your coin jars, let's pause for a moment. Yes, it's exciting. But not every 1962 D penny is worth $900,000. Some are common, some have been handled too much and lost their premium value. And here's the crucial part. Condition is king. The slightest scratch, the tiniest discoloration, and the difference in value could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. In other words, your luck hinges on spotting a near-perfect gem hidden among the ordinary. But here's the good. News learning to identify these coins is easier than you think. Look for brilliance in the copper, sharpness in the details, and no signs of wear. And if you have a hunch, it's worth having an expert examine it. The right appraisal could confirm that you are holding one of the rarest pennies in the United States. And that could be your ticket to financial independence. Now, imagine selling this coin. Picture the auctioneer's gavel falling, your heart racing, and a 9-figure bank account suddenly closer than you ever imagined. That's not fantasy, that's reality for those who recognize the hidden value of rare coins. And here's the part most people overlook. Timing is everything. The market for rare pennies is competitive. Prices are surging. Every month, more. Collectors enter the fray. And the longer you wait, the more the demand grows in, so does your potential gain. Some of you might be thinking, $900,000. Really? Yes, really. This isn't speculation, it's documented sales records from coin auctions and private collectors. People just like you have discovered that ordinary coins from the 1960s can hold extraordinary wealth. And the question isn't whether these coins are valuable. It's whether you're ready to recognize their worth before someone else does. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. Where do I even start? And here's the secret. Start small, start smart, and start looking. Check those old jars, those boxes tucked away in closets, those change piles. Treat each coin with curiosity, because sometimes the smallest object carries the biggest fortune. And while you search, remember this: every minute that passes, every coin ignored, is a missed opportunity. The clock is ticking, and history has proven that rare coins don't stay hidden forever. Before we wrap up, here's something to make you smile. Did you know some people have thrown away rare pennies thinking they were worthless? Thousands of dollars literally lost to the trash. It's almost criminal. And that's exactly why knowledge is power. Knowing the potential of your 1962 D. Lincoln penny could be the difference between living a life of ordinary comfort and stepping into extraordinary wealth. So, what's next for you? Examine your collection. Learn the details. Seek expert opinions if needed. And above all, act quickly. Every day that passes, the chance to unlock this hidden fortune could slip through your fingers. Because this isn't just about coins, it's about seizing an opportunity, rewriting your financial story, and embracing the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. And one last thought before we end. That 1962 D. Lincoln penny isn't just copper in your hand, it's potential. Potential worth hundreds of thousands, even $900,000. Potential to transform your life. And the moment you realize it, the moment you see it for what it truly is, that's when your story changes forever. Imagine holding a single coin in your hand, something that looks ordinary, something you might have dismissed as pocket change. But what if I told you this coin could change your life forever? Today, we're diving into the world of one of the rarest coins in American history, the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, a single penny with the potential to make its owner nearly $1 million. $893,000. to be exact. Now, before you rush to dig through your change jar, listen closely. This is a story of opportunity, timing, and a little-known secret hiding in plain sight. Most people see pennies as worthless, trivial, even laughable. It's just a penny. They say, flipping it across a counter or tossing it into a jar. But history has a funny way of revealing the extraordinary in the ordinary. The 1972 Lincoln cent, minted without a mint mark, is one of those rare instances where the everyday becomes extraordinary. Only a few of these coins exist, and their rarity is what drives their astronomical value. Imagine owning something that most collectors will spend decades searching for. Something that could instantly transform your financial landscape. Now, you might be thinking, how could a penny possibly be worth that much? Its simple mistakes in minting make these coins almost mythical in the collector world. In 1972, the Philadelphia Mint struck an extremely limited number of pennies without the D mint mark that typically appears on coins produced in Denver. Over the decades, these coins were lost, overlooked, or thrown away, and the few that survived are considered virtually priceless. It's like finding a diamond in a haystack. Only this diamond can fit in your pocket. Here's a question. For you, when was the last time something you ignored could have made you rich? Most of us toss old coins in jars, never realizing the potential sleeping quietly in our drawers. Every time you glance at your loose change, you might be staring at a treasure hiding in plain sight. Fear not. This isn't just a story for coin collectors. It's a wake-up call. Let's take a step back for a moment. Imagine the excitement of discovering one of these coins in your wallet. Heart racing, hands shaking, the realization hitting you. This tiny, unassuming penny is worth almost $900,000. $900,000. It's more than most people make in a lifetime. And it could be yours. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The market for rare coins has never been hotter. Wealthy collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for these rare finds. And the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny sits at the pinnacle of this market. The urgency is real. Every day, coins like these change hands in private sales, sometimes before the general public even knows they exist. The question isn't whether this coin is valuable, whether you're ready to seize the opportunity before someone else does, and yes, I can hear your skepticism, a penny. Really? But consider this. For the right collector, this coin is a trophy, a legacy, a piece of history. Its value isn't just monetary, it's symbolic. Owning a coin like this signals expertise, timing, and fortune. It's about being in the right place at the right time, and knowing enough to act decisively. Now, humor me for a second. Have you ever checked your couch cushions only to find lint and maybe a spare dime? What if instead of a dime, you found $893,000? That's not a joke. That's the reality for anyone lucky enough to own a 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. The thrill of discovery, the rush of knowing you're holding something rare and priceless, is an emotion unlike any other. And that feeling? It's contagious. But here's the cliffhanger. Even if you have one of these pennies, selling it isn't as simple as handing it over to a cashier. The stakes are high, the buyers are selective, and timing is everything. Do it wrong, and you could leave hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Do it right, and you could unlock financial freedom, live a life of luxury, and finally realize the wealth that was hiding under your nose all along. So what should you do if you think you might have one of these coins? First, don't panic, don't rush to sell to just anyone. Get it authenticated, appraised, and understood. Its value isn't just in its rarity. It's in its verified history, in the story it carries from the mint to your hands. Every scratch, every mark, every detail can multiply its worth. And knowledge is power. The 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity. It's proof that the extraordinary can hide in the ordinary, that wealth and luck often come disguised as simple objects we overlook. And if you act wisely, if you recognize the rarity and take deliberate steps, you could join the small, elite circle of people who turned a simple penny into nearly $1 million fortune. So, the next time you handle your coins, look closely, examine every detail. Hold each one with curiosity, because you never know which small piece of history could become your ticket to wealth, legacy, and the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. The 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is waiting maybe in your drawer, maybe in your pocket, maybe in a jar collecting dust. But make no mistake, this is one opportunity you do not want to miss, because when the right person sees the right coin, everything changes. And that, my friends, is the power hidden in a single penny. Yet today, it could be worth up to $888,000. Yes, you heard that right. $888,000 for a single penny. But not just any penny. We're talking about the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent coin with no mint marca coin that has collectors and investors scrambling to get their hands on it. Now I know what you're thinking. A penny worth nearly $1 million. That sounds like one of those late-night infomercials. But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is so valuable, why time is of the essence, and most importantly, why it could be sitting in your own collection right now. It all begins with a story of rarity. And mistake a coin minted in 1978 without a mint mark. You see, the United States Mint is meticulous. Every penny they produce carries a mark identifying where it was struck. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and none for Philadelphia. But in a twist of fate, some 1978 pennies were released from Philadelphia with no mint mark at all. A seemingly small detail, almost invisible. That tiny absence made these coins incredibly rare. Here's the thing. Rarity alone isn't what makes something priceless. It's the combination of scarcity, demand, and history. Collectors are drawn to anomalies, the unexpected, the oops moments that the mint itself didn't plan. And for these no mint mark 1978 pennies, That perfect storm of rarity and desirability creates a value that most people can't even imagine. Now, let's pause for a second. Have you ever found an old coin and thought, "Hey, it's just a penny"? Imagine if you had held on to a 1978 no mint mark Lincoln cent all these years, unknowingly guarding nearly $1 million. That's not just a coin. That's financial freedom. That's the kind of hidden wealth that most people only dream about. And this isn't some fairy tale. Collectors, investors, and even museums would pay top dollar for this exact coin. But here's the kicker. The market is moving fast. Coins like these don't sit on shelves forever. Every month, more pennies are discovered, authenticated, and sold, but many are snapped up by savvy collectors before you even hear about them. And once they're gone, the opportunity vanishes. Imagine realizing too late that the coin you tossed in a jar as a kid could have made you a millionaire. Fear of missing out isn't just a feeling, it's a reality in the coin world now. I promised you excitement, and here it comes. Authentic 1978 no mint mark pennies in excellent condition are currently valued at $888,000. That's not a typo. $888,000 for a coin you might have overlooked in a dusty old change jar. And it gets better. Coins in slightly less pristine condition still fetch impressive sums, sometimes hundreds of thousands. The truth is, even the smallest imperfections don't erase the rarity that drives this market. So how do you know if you have one? First, check the mint mark. Look closely at the area just below the date on the coin. If there's no D or S, congratulations, you might be holding something extraordinary. But don't panic if it looks slightly worn. Even circulated coins can command serious money if they're authentic. And this is where experts, grading, and authentication come into play. Because in a market like this, credibility is everything. A coin, properly verified by a reputable grading service, can instantly transform from a curiosity into a six-figure treasure. But let's lighten up for a second. Imagine telling your friends, "Oh, this old penny. Yeah, it's worth more than my car." The look on their faces, the disbelief. It's not just money, it's a story, a secret you hold, and a chance to change your lifestyle forever. That's the thrill of rare coin collecting. That's the emotional rush that drives people to search attics, drawers, and old coin jars. And here's the part most people don't realize. You don't need to be a lifelong collector to capitalize on this. If you've got a stack of pennies from the late 70s, take a closer look. A single coin could be your ticket to wealth. But timing matters. The longer you wait, the higher the stakes, and the more competition you face. Coins like this aren't just valuable, they're transformative. Before we reveal the final secret, ask yourself, are you going to let an old penny dictate your future, or are you going to act? Because someone, somewhere, just sold a 1978 no mint mark Lincoln cent for close to $888,000. And the buyer is now holding a piece of history and a life-changing investment. And tomorrow, That same coin might be out of reach, hidden forever in a private collection. So here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. The 1978 Lincoln cent with no mint mark isn't just a coin. It's proof that fortune favors the observant, the patient, and the daring. One small discovery, one careful examination, could place unimaginable wealth in your hands. And if you're watching this right now, you have the power to change your story. Don't let $1 million opportunity slip through your fingers because of hesitation. Remember, wealth isn't always found in stocks, bonds, or real estate. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight in something as small as a penny. But not all pennies are created equaling that tiny detail. That missing mint mark could be the key to a life you've always dreamed of. The question is, will you recognize it when you see it? Will you act before it's too late? Because one day you'll look back and remember this moment, the moment you realized that fortune doesn't just knock. Sometimes it's hiding under your couch cushions, quietly waiting for someone smart enough to find it. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you. Yes, a simple Lincoln cent from 1990. But not just any penny. No mint mark. One tiny, unassuming piece of copper that right now could be worth nearly $1 million. $874,000 to be exact. You're about to discover why this little coin is capturing the attention of collectors and investors across the United States, and why it might be sitting unnoticed in your own wallet, drawer, or coin jar. Now, before you dismiss this as another too-good-to-be-true story, think about. This history has a way of hiding treasures in plain sight. Most people see pennies every day, and they toss them without a second thought. But what if one of those pennies was the key to a life you've always dreamed of: freedom, comfort, and the kind of financial security that most only dream about? That's exactly what the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln cent represents. Let's start at the beginning. In 1990, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies, most of which were ordinary. Ordinary pennies are worth, well, a penny, but a small number slipped through the cracks. A minting error, a missing mint mark, and suddenly you have a coin that is unique, coveted, and astonishingly rare. When you hold one, you're holding a piece of history that the vast majority of collectors will never see, let alone. And here's the fascinating part: rarity isn't just a word on a collector's checklist. It's the lifeblood of wealth in the numismatic world. Imagine buying a piece of art that no one else can replicate. Now, imagine that piece of art costs less than a cup of coffee when it was created. That's exactly what happened with these pennies. And today, with the market value soaring to $874,000, those who were lucky enough to recognize its potential decades ago are now living proof that patience and knowledge pay off, sometimes in ways that seem almost magical. But here's the thing: this is not just about numbers, it's about timing. Every day, someone out there is discovering that they've been sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Maybe it's in a dusty jar at the back of a kitchen counter. Maybe it's tucked into a box of old coins passed down from your grandfather. And every day that penny remains unnoticed, your opportunity gets risked to someone else. Think about that for a second. That could be your ticket to financial freedom slipping through your fingers while you sip your morning coffee. So how do you know if the penny you have is the one? This is where excitement meets urgency. Look closely at the coin's obverse. Lincoln's profile should be sharp, clear, and distinct. On the reverse, there's no mint mark. That tiny missing symbol transforms a common penny into a highly sought-after treasure. K. And trust me, every serious collector will recognize its worth instantly. K. They don't just see a coin, they see a rare key to history, a status symbol, and a massive investment rolled into one small piece of copper. Know what you're thinking? $874,000 for a penny. That sounds insane. Yes, it does. But think about it like this: one moment of attention, one quick check of a coin in your possession could open the door to a life that most people only imagine. And if you've ever dreamed of wealth, freedom, and the kind of lifestyle where money works for you instead of the other way around, this is your chance. Opportunities like this don't come knocking twice. Now, here's a funny thought to keep you awake. Imagine trying to pay for $1 million yacht with pennies. That would be awkward, right? But the truth is, one right penny, perfectly preserved, has the power to turn a simple coin jar into a treasure chest. And the beauty of it, you don't have to gamble in the stock market or take risky bets. The value is intrinsic, built over decades of rarity and demand. This is history rewarding those who recognize its hidden gems. And here's a little cliffhanger for you. We're only scratching the surface. There are stories of people who discovered this penny tucked in collections, boxes, and even loose change, completely unaware of its value. In some cases, it changed lives overnight. But there's one key factor that can make or break your chance claiming this wealth. And it's something most people overlook entirely. Stay with me, because this next part is crucial. The condition of the penny, its preservation, is everything. A crisp, flawless coin can command top dollar, while a worn coin might still be valuable, but not life-changing. That's why collectors obsess over details that most people ignore. The sharpness of Lincoln's cheekbone, the clarity of the lettering, the exact shade of copper. Every detail matters. And in this world, attention to detail isn't just computes the difference between ordinary and extraordinary wealth. So, what's next? You think you might have a 1990 no mint mark Lincoln cent? The first step is verification. Don't just take anyone's word for it. Find a trusted coin dealer, get it professionally appraised, and preserve it properly. Once verified, you could be looking at a payday that changes everything, an instant financial leap into the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. All from a coin smaller than a postage stamp. But remember, the clock is ticking. Every day, people are selling, buying, and discovering pennies just like yours. Every moment you wait could be someone else's gain. And here's the truth that most won't tell you. Opportunities like this, wait for no one. They reward the curious, the prepared, and the bold. Will you be one of them, or will your chance slip away like a penny rolling under the couch? In the end, the 1990 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent isn't just a coin, it's a symbol. A symbol of hidden potential, of untapped wealth, and of the power of knowledge. Those who recognize it, preserve it, and act quickly are the ones who transform a simple penny into a life-altering fortune. $874,000 is not just a number, it's a wake-up call. So, check your drawers, jars, and old collections. Look closely. That coin could be waiting for you. And when you find it, well, you'll know that sometimes the smallest things in life carry the greatest treasures.